Hi friends, what's going on? Coach Coco wanted to just say hello, wish you an incredible week, and just wanted to vlog a little bit about what I've been up to and sort of my hot take on some recent things that I've been discovering about health and wellness and everything in between. So if you are just listening to this now, I hope again you are stopping here for amazing on the go ready to try out for yourself tips. And if you've been visiting and revisiting my site and want to know just what I've been up to, you're about to just learn all about that. So amazing. And also wanted to make sure that everybody knew our January 4th health challenge is beginning in a few, dare I say, don't really want to fast forward time, but it's around the corner. Doors are open. So if you are looking to completely take control of your one life that you get, this is the time to do it. So, it's been really a long time since I've actually been on this kind of platform in this way, talking it up. Most of it has been because I've really been under a deep dive during my school year. I love what I do. And it's been one of those years that I feel I really want to dedicate some time to being completely immersed in that. And yet I'm back. I'm back again. And I am loving my time with my students. But I also noticed there have been changes now. I've been in the field for 20 years, and there have been just some changes that I've been very on, like it's on my mind, but I also feel like I have no control over them. So I feel like I also need to just push on and turn the page. And that's been kind of where I am taking off in this conversation. So, a lot of us struggle, and I've been listening to so many amazing people telling me about just their struggles in general. I think that I have definitely felt like I've been struggling. And this is to say, you know what, maybe it's true what they say. Science is now seriously kind of revamping how we think about things. And a lot of it is our mindsets. And I know coming from a place where I was sincerely very negative, all throughout my college, career, I was over drinking, overindulging, and not necessarily really fueling myself, one, to sleeping almost none, 4 hours a day, and that got me really to a destination really fast. And that was really kind of feeling burnt out. And a lot of us are going through that. I think this season is not looking like the seasons. It's challenging us in a different way. And yes, everything's back to normal, but I feel like we live faster than ever, and we're not really good at staying focused. And our willpowers have completely kind of been, I would say, ambushed. And so with that, this morning, I just kind of was looking at what I could do to sort of just give myself maybe another framework around feeling stressed out and maybe feeling like, the seasons don't feel like the seasons. So, how can I turn things around mentally? I think a lot of us have to face things in the exterior world. And then also now with this, video device that we have. And haha, I know a lot of us joke, but really, it's good that we vlog and that we talk about our scenarios and share them, because I know if I hadn't heard what I needed to hear 8 years ago, I wouldn't be on this journey. I wouldn't be on this track. And I most definitely would not be on a video kind of chiming in again with just some tips on how you might want to tackle these next few days, and maybe, dare I say, how you want to visualize your entire 2024. So once I kind of give you guys the details, if you want to deep dive with me in January and jump on our transformation challenge, this is the best time to do things like this, because we're all wanting to feel a little rejuvenated. We all want to have good tips, something to go through immediately, so that when we are under the wave, so to speak, we are able to go forward and not get stuck, and definitely not get hijacked. So, I think my biggest tip? My biggest tip is figure out what that massive challenge is. And for me, one thing that really irks me that's incredibly out of my control is kind of doing deep cleans in my household. Now, yes, not everybody can sit down for 9 hours straight in a row and clean, and this is how I like to do things. Deep cleaning really is that chance for maybe me to think about how else I can fit it in without breaking the bank or feeling like I'm really over um, spending. And it's like I have to break things down. I have to think about, okay, well, what's the cost divided by 30? And that's the real cost of what it's costing me. Now, that's just in that sense. I also feel like if we could just think about things more holistically instead of hyper dysmorphing actually reality, this would be a win, a huge win. So think about things holistically instead of this one thing that's really out of control versus in your control. And that's really helped. So that's tip number one, especially when you're reaching, when you're maybe aspiring for something like a goal. You have a goal, right? So I, feel that a lot of us need to be kind of like, hey, reminded, especially during this time of year, what is the whole idea that we're trying to get across, we're trying to get closer to? What is the goal? What is the goal? And that is definitely been helpful for me. So tip number two, I would say, would be to consider building your confidence around willpower. And again, and this is something that a lot of us think that we master and then we don't ever have to worry about. Now, that is an unrealistic goal. That is not real. That is not reality. That's not based on life experience. If I've ever wanted anything, I've had to dig and dive deep, almost suffocating. Like, that is how much my goals have been. And a lot of us don't know this, but whether it's a small goal or a big goal, that kind of gut force is what ultimately gets us to anything. So yeah, kind of beating around the bush about wanting to start, or just kind of even like attacking other people for being healthy is a huge red flag for me, and also just a warning to us. Like, this is why we want to have realistic goals, because if we're not really willing to do the work, then we're not really going to ever get to our goals. So, and this comes from me, like somebody that's like up and down. It's I mean, my entire life, like, being, a lot of us don't know this about me. And I feel like this is where, people look at me and they're like, why are you so hell bent on certain things about life? And it's because I've had to either dive deep, or dig deep, almost, before I like suffocate. Like, so, I mean, I think of back of, my struggles with, my residency and my, naturalization in the United States. I think of that story, and I think of the struggles I've faced with discrimination. I've struggled with, I would say, almost like this sense of placement meaning like I am not from New Hampshire. I'm from a completely different culture, but yet now I am this culture, right? And this is where I feel like it is so important to remember that it's been a journey. It's been a huge undertaking from my like standpoint. And so that's been something that has definitely played into maybe perhaps what you see as, having willpower, resilience, having this way of saying things. There's a reason why people work with me, right? Especially when it comes to health coaching, especially when it comes to business, especially when it comes to just being part of working together, right? Because you're going to see a really good, not only like someone who's willing to think outside the box, but also who's willing to like kind of like remember the whole goal. What's the holistic? And I feel like a lot of us approach life with either just we've given up, completely given up, to people that talk a lot about doing things and doing it right and hanging in there and going through and thick through whatever it is that they're hoping to do. And a lot of it because, I work with students, and I also work with um, students in the health realm. It's very interesting to me how people will kind of just talk and talk and talk about why they can't do things, why I can't do that, why that's not going to be possible. What It's this very interesting self dialogue. And so if you're going to do anything at all, right, just becoming more curious. I think that is one thing my coaches always instilled in me, is becoming more curious around what I do and how I do it, and becoming more just kind of like methods oriented. I noticed that a lot of the people that I'm currently surrounding myself with, my mentors, are people who are incredibly successful, yes, but also just incredibly like their method of doing things is very inspiring. And so that, I believe, is my third tip for the day, and under this umbrella of beginning the new year. So I personally love the number 24. Yes, it's part of the athletic line of the company that I absolutely love, but also it's such a great number. Okay. So again, when I think of 24, we always kind of rush to there are 24 hours in a day. And that's why my license plate has a number 24, because there are 24 decisions that we can make around those hours, 24 hours to make decisions. And that is like a real clear, visible. I love the shaped circle. So it's like, it's symmetrical, it's balanced, and it's also even, right? So you have 24 hours. That means you could divide your day in half, things that you're doing that are helping you reach your goals, and things that you're doing that are not helping your goals. And if you could just do that on a sticky note, like what is pouring me back some energy, and what is like taking that energy and sucking it dry. And that has definitely been an exercise that, even if it's mental, I take the time to think about, what is it that I'm doing, and how is it that I'm doing? And maybe I would say the third thing, probably, is it going, with the current of like where I want to go, or is it repelling and bringing me going back to two spaces, like in a game board, right? We have kids who are making game boards. It's an odd teacher connection, I suppose, but kids are making game boards, and they're like, can we, land on a spot and bring it back 3 spots? And it's like, yeah, those things are going to happen anyway. But why don't we prepare for the things and for the situations and the scenarios that maybe either hijack, like Mel Robbins says, hijack our day, or maybe provide us back some energy and some focus and some good vibes, right? So that, my friends, is my 1-2 on how I'm taking on 2024. I am also inviting all of y'all, okay, because we could all use a little inspiration, motivation, movement on our time, right, without having to pay a mazillion dollars. So that is definitely for offer, there for you as well. I think lastly, I think the countdown to the holidays and coming away from holidays, if we are Jewish, or if we are, traditional, celebrating Christmas coming up, either way, we are celebrating. And I feel like this is a really good time to just pour in and think about those things that you really want to accomplish, those people you want to really have great conversations with, and surround yourself around those thoughts. And I promise that those are going to be helpful and really help you figure out right? When you have those moments, those pockets of like writing down, like, what is it that is helping me? What is not, helping me? And if you didn't listen to Jay Shetty's video just now, make sure you do. Make sure you set a reminder, set an alarm, make sure you do. And don't forget to enroll. Enroll in the Transformations Challenge. It includes nutrition, it includes me as your coach, it includes your motivation, your fitness. It has cash prizes for those of us that don't want to do anything unless you're getting paid for it. I don't blame you. Otherwise, that's it for me. Have an amazing week and countdown to the best time of year. Peace.